I lived in Korea pretty much all my life for 37 years now. And currently, I'm a mom raising a 23 months old baby. Other than spending over 1 year in the United States as an intern and taking a few business trips here and there. So basically, I'm a Korean native. And don't get me wrong, Korea is an amazing place to live with so many pros, but every country has its downside, right? Today, I just want to sit down and casually chat about one specific downside that I've been feeling super strongly about lately. So, in Korea, when you give birth, you usually don't go straight home. Most moms go to 산후조리원, which is a postpartum care center. You basically get some rest and recover while professional nurses and caregivers take care of your baby. Anyway, I spent 2 weeks at one of these centers, and out of nowhere, this tiny little heat rash just popped up on my foot. I'm super prone to prickly heat, so I didn't much think of it. I just grabbed some ointment from nearby pharmacy and put it on. Except it didn't go away. Once I got home and started dealing with real life, it got so much worse. The little rash just spread all my legs, my calves, my knees, my thighs. It got to the point where, honestly, it looked like a severe burn. It was so gross and shocking that wherever I went outside, I had to wear a long skirt to hide my legs. It got so itchy and bad that I finally decided to hit up some local dermatology clinic in my neighborhood. And that's when I ran into a major war. Literally everywhere I went, they turned me away. They take one look and say, "Oh, we probably can't treat this here. You should go to a bigger hospital." I was so baffled and just felt so hurt and rejected. And turns out it's the sad reality of dermatology in Korea. Korea is so obsessed with looks, and cosmetic procedures are insanely huge here. Because of that, most clinics are heavily focused on beauty treatments that bring in big money. So if you show up with an actual skin disease that needs medical treatments, you get sidelined. Literally, you have nowhere to go. Isn't the whole point of a skin clinic to help people suffering from skin disease? But seeing how beauty became the absolute priority was so depressing. Luckily, after walking out of multiple places, I finally found one clinic that agreed to take me in. And it turns out the culprit was dust mites from bedding at the postpartum center. Because my immunity was so wrecked, my body just threw a massive allergic reaction. I had to stop breastfeeding on the spot, take heavy meds, go through 2 whole months of treatment before I finally healed. And yeah, my legs are finally clear now, as you can see. We always brag about how great Korea's medical system is, how easily you can just pop into a clinic nearby for cheap when you catch a cold or have a stomachache. But going through specific skin ordeal made me realize, man, hospitals that actually treat sick people are seriously disappearing. Dealing with all of the skin drama made me really reflect on something about Korean society. Honestly, our obsession with looks is just way out of hand. The beauty standards here are usually cookie cutter. You gotta have a tiny face, smooth V-line jaw without any prominent cheekbones or scare jaws, pale skin, big eyes, and cute button nose, super slim body. Those checklists is exhausting. Even older folks just casually say things to little kids like, "Oh, you'd be so pretty once you just get a double eyelid surgery," or "Oh, you look amazing if you lost just a little bit of weight." Hearing stuff like that just makes me cringe every single time. And honestly, if I don't catch myself, those thoughts even pop into my own head, which I totally hate. When I was working in the States, back then I was so shocked because The concept of a small face doesn't exist. They couldn't even wrap their heads around why face size had anything to do with being pretty. They lived without being tied down to these rigid beauty templates, and nobody judged each other's looks. Getting away from that gave me such huge sense of freedom. Recently, I watched a YouTube video about a Korean mom who moved to Hawaii. Her son had gotten a facial burn scars from an accident, and because people in Korea just kept making thoughtless, harmful comments, the poor kid became withdrawn and depressed. So she packed up and moved to Hawaii knowing nobody, just to raise her son in a place he wouldn't get hurt. Watching that really hit home. It made me realize how messed up and toxic the narrow mindset in Korea really is. Look, it's totally normal to appreciate good looking people, but in Korea, it's just taken to an extreme. Take I'm Solo, a popular Korean dating show with ordinary people. If you look at the comment section, people are just relentlessly tearing apart the cast looks. And seeing stuff like that pisses me off. So I always tell myself I don't get trapped in these shallow biases. And I want to raise my sweet daughter so she grew up with high self-esteem and completely free from these toxic standards. So yeah, I just ramble a bit today and share some of my recent thoughts on Korea's intense beauty standards and casual judgment. I was born and raised here, so I definitely caught myself falling into those traps and caring way too much about what people think. But if you really think about it, our actual worth can never measured by some tiny box or look standard that someone else made up. Wanting to take care of your look is totally a personal choice. But I just wish it wouldn't turn into a weapon to compare ourselves or tear others down, especially for the world our kids are growing up in. I hope it becomes a much kinder place where people can love who they are instead of stressing over everyone else's eyes. Anyway, I just wanted to casually share what's been on my mind lately. And if you guys have ever had a similar experience living in Korea, let me know in the comments. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!